Do you find yourself stressing out over your childcare business's marketing? Are you tired of empty places, low enrollment, low cash flow, and all the stress that comes along with all of that? Hey friend, welcome to the Childcare Business Marketing Made Easy podcast. You know God called you into childcare, but let's face it, you're no marketing expert. That's where I come in. My name is Christina Rizakos, an educator by trade, certified business coach, and marketing expert. I started my own childcare center back in 2003 with zero business knowledge. I knew working with kids was my calling in life, but trying to figure out marketing, well, that was a whole other story. And the truth is, I struggled. I struggled for a long time to fully book my program until I started to learn online marketing strategies that helped me get my program on the map, fully booked, and thriving. Fast forward to today, I own a marketing agency that helps childcare business owners from all over the world with their marketing. Imagine running an amazing fully booked program, never having to stress over enrollment or low cash sales. Grab a piece of paper and a pen and let me show you how easy marketing can be. Happy Friday, friend. So I hope you had an amazing week. I want to do something new on the podcast. So every single Friday, I will be dropping one of these episodes, and these episodes are going to be different from the rest of the week because we're not really going to focus on marketing strategies and tactics. We're going to be focusing on mindset, really just supporting you through your journey as a childcare business owner. I want to be able to coach you, to guide you, to support you, to motivate you, to make you laugh, to make you cry, and to make you feel less alone. So if you are on my email list, you remember that I used to email out every single Friday a motivational email. So this was an email that was sent out to all my list, and I would just share some stories of, my failures as a business owner when I was running my childcare center and how I had to juggle mom life, being married, having a business, and just things that I know you're going through on the day-to-day basis as a childcare business owner. And these emails were by far the best emails. They had the best open rates, and I had the most replies because, I had business owners that would reply back and say, thank you so much. I needed to hear this right now because I feel like quitting and I needed to hear this. Or I had somebody else email me back and say, you know what, Christina, thanks so much. I am the one that's motivating and guiding everybody, my staff every single day. So it's nice to know that someone is there to do that for me. So I got to thinking, how can I do this on a bigger level? How can I serve this community on a huger level? And I thought, why not, instead of writing an email and sending it out, why not upload a motivational or, mindset themed message or episode on the podcast so that this way you can actually hear it. Now, this is the first time I'm going to do this, and hopefully I will be doing this every single Friday after that. If you are not on my email list, you want to make sure you get on my list. So go to my website, childcarebusinessmarketing.com. Just scroll down, and there's a little section where it's written, get my marketing episodes or marketing trainings for free. It's at the bottom of the page. You'll see it. You just put your name in there, and then you're on my email list. I will be emailing you a copy of not only this podcast, but every single podcast that I dropped. So make sure that you sign up to get on my email list. So today I wanted to focus on something that I know as a business owner you have probably thought of, and that is quitting. Right, let's face it, running a childcare business is hard. Running any type of business is hard, but a childcare center is just one of those, those types of businesses that is not meant for everyone. And if you've been called to work in childcare, then I know that you're a special kind of human being. I also know that it is difficult and sometimes really overwhelming. And a lot of the times when things are not going well, you feel like quitting, right? I know that for a fact because I felt like quitting when I started my childcare center, when the excitement wore off, and, things got real and, money wasn't coming in and, the phone wasn't ringing. I would get clients that would sign up and then they would just ghost me, or I would get, staff that was not, people that I wanted to work for me in my business. It was hard. And many times with my business partner, we used to look at each other and say, why are we doing this? Like, let's just go get a job. And, a lot of the times we would joke about it, but sometimes we were serious about it. We would put down the numbers and, but there was always something inside us that would tell us, no, keep going. This is what you have to do. It's supposed to be hard right now. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And we did. We did it for 16 years, okay? So if you're there right now and you're thinking of quitting, I want you to know that you are not alone. And I also want you to know that there's some things that you can do to make sure that quitting is what is best for you right now. Okay, so here are 5 questions that you should ask yourself if you feel like quitting your childcare business. First question to ask yourself is, have I gone to God for this? Okay. What I believe is that if this was not your calling in life, if you didn't have this desire implanted in your heart by your creator, by God, then I know that you would not be in this business, right? I don't know many people that decide to open a childcare center and, have to go through all that if this was not their calling in life. If there wasn't something inside them that said, this is what I want you to do. Maybe you're super patient, you love children, you love teaching, right? You're very caring, and you know that this is your calling in life. You need to go to God and ask, God, do you still want me to be in childcare? Is there something else you want me to do? Okay. And this is really, really hard. So I'll give you a quick example. When I was running my childcare business and, those times where things were difficult and we just felt like quitting, there was something inside me, the Holy Spirit that I know guided me and kind of nudged me and said, nope, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Okay. But then when I fast forward 16 years later, my life looked completely different. I had worked this business for 16 years, served my community. I was a mom of 4. And my heart was nudging me. I had this desire to do or to serve in a different capacity. And I know that was God telling me, okay, Christina, now I need you here. And it was really, really hard for me to kind of disconnect from childcare and move on to something else, even though I felt that war inside me consistently. I had so much anxiety and so much stress. And I would just think to myself, who am I if I'm not in childcare? Because ever since I could remember, that's all I would talk about. I want to open my own daycare. I want to open my own childcare center. I want to raise my own kids. Everything was just about kids and just being there and just having my own business. And that's all I wanted to do ever since I was a young girl. So now, fast forward, I was, in my, I think it was like 40 or 41, and I would feel this imbalance inside me. And I knew that there was something shifting. And it took me 3 years to be obedient, to say, okay, God, I heard you loud and clear. Even though it scares me, I will sell my business and move on to something else, the other, whatever, the other area that you want me to move into. And I did, but that was really, really hard. So if you are thinking of quitting right now and you you don't have a clear reason, you just feel like quitting, like you've had enough and you just feel like quitting, get real clear as to who is nudging you in what direction, okay? The other question you want to ask yourself is, do you want to quit because you have low enrollment? And I know that this is something that is very difficult to go through as a business owner, obviously, when cash sales are low and, you feel like nobody wants what you have to offer and parents are not signing up. And, I get it. But if that is the only reason that you want to quit, then you really need to do a deep dive and think to yourself, okay, is there something that I can do to learn or to implement in order to boost my enrollment, right? If your heart's desire is to run this business and this is where God wants you to be right now, then having low enrollment is not a reason to quit, okay? So if this is something that you're struggling with right now, just know that there's a lot of things you can do, right? You can reach out for help. You can learn yourself. You can do some research about marketing and what exactly that entails. If you go on the link in my show notes, you can actually apply to work with our agency. We can hop on a free marketing call together and I could just walk you through marketing strategy and give you like a clear plan, right? Totally free. So if that's the only reason, that you were called to do this, you just, you don't see yourself doing anything else, but you're just tired of the low enrollment and that, money's not coming in and you're just struggling and just don't know what to do and you feel like quitting, then don't let that stop you. Don't let that be the reason that you're quitting, because there is a solution to that problem, right? Reach out for help, educate yourself. Don't be afraid of tech. Don't be afraid of, marketing and online strategies. Don't be afraid of those things. Reach out for help. It's definitely available. Again, you can always reach out to me and ask me for a free strategy call, and we could get on a video call and I could walk you through that. Now, the third question you want to ask yourself is, do I want to quit because I feel exhausted all the time? And this is a real question to ask yourself. I know a lot of business owners that, they say, Christina, I'm fed up. I feel like, I'm always tired. I'm always cranky. I'm gaining weight. I always look tired and exhausted. My hair is gray. I feel like I've aged. My skin has aged in the last 10 years. Then I really want you to examine self-care. Okay, so what that looks like is obviously different for everybody, but you really have to, as a woman, because let's face it, most childcare business owners are women, you really want to make sure that you are putting self-care first. You have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, you're resting when you have to rest. And I don't want to hear the excuse that you don't understand. I can't go to bed at 9 p.m. I can't do this. No, I don't want to hear any of those excuses, because that's what they are. They're excuses, right? So really just start thinking about self-care as something you have to do every single day. Because if you're showing up to work exhausted, if you're giving tours and you're exhausted, if you look like a hot mess all the time, then, chances are you're not really taking care of yourself, right? So a few things that I did when I was struggling with this was simple things. I would start to put makeup on when I would go to work, because before that, I just put my hair in a bun, put some sweatpants on, even though I was the director of a childcare center, and I would go to work and I would think to myself, so what? I own this business. I don't have to put makeup on, or I don't have to look presentable. Wrong. Okay? So look presentable, make an effort, fix up your hair a little bit, put some makeup on, wear some clothes, some, comfortable clothes that obviously that you could work throughout the day, but just make it a point that you're not showing up to work in your pajamas, okay? The other thing you want to think about is what you're eating, what you're fueling your body with. Drinking water, laying off the coffee, laying off the sugar as much as you can, just having some type of a diet that you can follow that is going to fuel your body and just keep you energized and help you feel strong, okay? Going for walks, joining a gym, doing some aerobics, things that you can do to really respect your body, like the temple that it is, and to kind of fuel you, to give you more energy throughout the day so that you're not always exhausted. No one wants to feel exhausted. When you feel exhausted, you don't show up the way you're supposed to show up. You're short-tempered. You just look depleted, and you just don't want to show up like that, okay? Eating well, drinking a lot of water, going to the gym, walking, meditating, taking some time in the morning before you head off to work to have some me time alone. So whether that's reading scripture or, drinking some water and just journaling or reading something, just take the time to take care of yourself, okay? Number 4, if you're thinking of quitting, do you think of quitting because you feel like you're a solopreneur and that you are in charge of all the things? Your to-do list just keeps growing by the minute and you're just tired of it. And if that's you, then I have good news for you, my friend, okay? We need to stop trying to be in control of everything. And I don't care how big or how small your center is, right? And we have to start taking control of our schedule, focusing on things that actually matter as the business owner, and then delegating the rest, right? So even if you're running a small home daycare with one assistant, or even if you're on your own, you can actually delegate or outsource things so that you don't have to worry about them, right? You can delegate your accountant, you can delegate your social media, you can delegate any type of paperwork that needs to be created, any graphic designing, putting up your website, your marketing. You can delegate these things. You can hire someone to do this for you, right? So you don't have to be the one doing all the things. You really don't. So I'll give you a quick example. When I was running my childcare business, there was 2 business owners. It was myself and my partner, my sister, my younger sister, and we both had roles. We both had things we were good at, and that's what we would focus on. But as our business grew and we started hiring staff, and we had more paperwork and things to do, I quickly realized that I could not keep up with the accounting. I didn't enjoy accounting. I didn't like the software. It was just so boring, and I just didn't want to do it. So instead of trying to figure it out, I put an ad in the paper, and I found a stay-at-home mom that used to be an accountant or a bookkeeper, and that she came and once a month, took all the paperwork with her, and then just did what she had to do at home. And that was such a huge load off, right? Another thing that we did was with our meals, right? So we used to cook the meals when we first started, and it was just so difficult because you could imagine having, your home and you're cooking for your kids and your family, and then you had to stop what you were doing and then cook for the daycare, right? And that was really hard, and especially when the daycare grew, there was no way I can do that anymore. So we hired someone to work in the kitchen. And she was in charge of inventory, of cleaning the kitchen, of ordering the food, ordering supplies, and cooking the meals and serving them. So that was another load off on our end, okay? So it does not matter if you think you have to do everything. You really don't, right? Only because you know how to do everything, which you probably do, because if you're a business owner, you probably know how to do all the things. Doesn't mean you have to do all the things all the time, okay? So if you're feeling overwhelmed or stretched thin, or you just feel like you don't have time to comb your hair or to even go to the bathroom, chances are you're packing on too many things on your plate. So it's time to delegate and to outsource, okay? And there's a lot of websites you can go for that. So you can go to Fiverr.com, you can go to Upwork or freelancer.com to find, virtual assistants that can help you with things like social media, your website, creating newsletters for you, creating templates, meal plans. I mean, there's a lot of things you can hire out these days, okay? When it comes to your marketing, of course, you can hire out your marketing. Someone can actually take over the entire plan for you. We actually offer that in the marketing agency. So there's things that you can do. Don't feel like you have to do all the things, okay? And the last thing you want to ask yourself if you're thinking of quitting is, do I have community around me? So this is a big one. Okay. As a childcare business owner, I know that if you're working from home, you're probably the only adults you see is probably the parents when they drop off their kids for like a second or two. And then the rest of the day you are with children. Okay. If you're running a bigger center, you probably see kids or your staff or the parents, but that's it. So when I say community, I mean to say is, do you have other like-minded business owners around you for support and accountability, and people that you can trust when you're having a bad day, or if you need some information, or you need to get feedback on something. So this community doesn't have to be filled with other childcare business owners, but it can definitely be other women that are in business for themselves in your community, and they're there to support and guide you, right? So every single town, I know for myself, there are networking events, whether they're face-to-face, like physical face-to-face, or whether they are virtually done. There are a lot of other business owners that get together once, let's say every couple of weeks, and talk about their business, talk about marketing, talk about mindset, talk about things that are working right now. And this is an excellent way for you to, number one, feel less alone, right? Because you're among other people that know what it's like to run a business. Number two, you can get support and guidance, and most of the time for free, right? And it's an excellent way for you to really keep up your morale and to be surrounded by other people that know what it's like when things aren't working well. And not only that, you're surrounded by other people that can give you feedback and bounce ideas off of you. So when you have a question about a website or some type of paperwork or a grant or just something that you need, the answer to, well, you have a community of people that you can count on. I know that, you're probably on Facebook, and, if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you're a part of, huge Facebook groups with other business owners, and you want to be careful with those because a lot of them are so big, and I used to be a part of some of them, and what I found was the information and the feedback and just the things that were posted were so negative that I had to kind of cut ties. So why not create your own community of like-minded business owners? Why not go on Facebook, for example, and create a networking group for local business owners in your area? Maybe you wanna create a business childcare business owner, say director group on Facebook, right? Or even better, locally. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can go on meetup.com. You can go to your Chamber of Commerce. You can scroll through Facebook groups and see if there's one that you resonate with. There's no reason for you to feel alone, especially in today's world where we have access to all the information from all over the world with a single click of a button, okay? So community is really, really big when we're feeling down, when we feel like things don't matter, when we feel like quitting. It's important to have those people that you can count on that are going to kind of give you that gentle nudge to say, no, keep going, you got this, okay? So there you have it, my friend. 5 questions to ask yourself if you feel like quitting your childcare business. I hope that this episode blesses you and your business, and that I hope that it gave you some courage or some ideas as to what types of things you can do in order to not quit if you feel called to still be in childcare, but that you need that extra support. Like, I really hope it gave you some ideas. And that's it. So I will see you guys in a few days. Make sure you check out the links in the show notes. And let me know if you have a marketing question. As always, you can go over on my website, scroll in the middle of the page, and you can actually click on a little microphone and ask your question, and I will feature you in an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in a few days. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if it did bless you or add some value, I would appreciate it if you go to wherever you're listening to this podcast from and leave me a review. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. 1 Peter 4:10. That is my intent with this podcast. I hope it blesses you and your business. See you in a few days.